Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new Peugeot e-2008 compact SUV, fully electric vehicle. This is the Allure package with the extra option of the pearl white color and 10-inch screen navigation inside. To the package, the Allure package is second package, so there's base, active, Allure, GT line and GT. Let me just show you the lights with the remote. Very cool. These are base LED lights. We're gonna test their performance in pitch black outside the city. Car is sitting on 17-inch alloy wheels, still on summer tires, Primacy 4, for efficiency and range. Car is gonna be swapped when they return it to winter tires. Have changed in case of snow, but that's not no forecast for that. Beautiful back LED lights. Cargo space is 434 liters. Pretty decent. If you knock down seats, 1,467 liters of cargo space. Over here you have a cables underneath. It's nice and flat. So what is the range on this car? So it has 50 kilowatt hour battery. It's only one battery size. 45 is usable. Range is, first press information was 250, but it's actually 320 kilometers. Not only in eco, also in normal, and there's sport mode as well. So this car price is 38.5 thousand euros. Entry price is 35,000 euros, and top GT package is 41,000 euros, at least here in Croatia. Top speed is 150 kilometers per hour. 0 to 100, which we're gonna test, is 8.5 seconds. It's a bit freezing, so we're just gonna jump inside the car and take it for a spin. So I think I covered most stuff. Yeah, the weight of the car is 1.5 ton and 50 kilos. So I had the Volkswagen ID on the test, so this is like in the Tesla Model 3, so this is maybe like the third car that's fully electric that we have on the test. And it's a little bit freezing, sorry if I'm shaking. I'm gonna turn on everything. So we have automatic with one gear, obviously, for electric cars. So the AC is gonna be a little noisy, so sorry for that. So I'm gonna show you the radio first. So the radio, I believe this is the base speakers setup. Very good, I would say, very decent speaker system or sound system. So first things first, when you get inside of this car and when you get in your new Peugeots, you know this smaller steering wheel and the virtual cockpit or 3D cockpit, which is on the top. So I hope you can see from the camera angle. I've tried to setting up so you can see it as well, and me. So the steering wheel is small. It needs to get used to it a little bit, but once you get used to it, it's really not a problem. Although I prefer the standard setup where the steering wheel is a little bit higher when you have at least the top round. But again, when you get used to it, it's not that problem. If you're a tall person, you will be hitting the here on the side of the door for opening. Let me just share some light, what I mean, over here. So the car has LED lights, but just to show you, this area where you can put your phone is very nice, but there is no illumination. You have to get the ambient lights, then you will get something similar. In the glove compartment, it's a huge, but no lights inside. Not sure what's with that. So 3D cockpit, I'm gonna show you while we're driving. Not to talk too long. Very nice. I'm very impressed. I really like it a lot. 10-inch screen. One critic about this before we start is there is no home screen with icons. Instead, you have icons, touch operated buttons. You have one more time light. You have physical buttons, mostly for AC controls and your hazards and locking the car, and then you have your like controls. So let's just head off without further talking. The automatic is pretty easy to use. So let's first start talking about the feeling and performance of this car, and then we're gonna come to the pros and cons. So definitely one of the pros of this car is the comfort. Now I will compare this to the Volkswagen ID.3 because it's one of the last cars I've driven, and this car is very comfortable. Why? It is, well, for starts, it's 300 kilos lighter, so it's less heavy, and it has 17-inch alloy wheels, so we have more tire. Most of the car industry now puts 18, 19, 20-inch wheels with a little tire, so there's a lot of uncomfort on the road. There's a lot of bumps, you can feel them, it's harsh. This car is very comfortable, and it is just enjoyable to drive. Now you can hear that the AC has adjusted the temperature inside, so I hope you can hear me better now without loud fans. Now also, since this is an electric car, it is very light. There's no it's very silent. There's no, you know, internal combustion engine sounds, so it is very relaxed and less stressful in general. So 136 horsepower, that's the equivalent power this car has to the figures that we're mostly comparing cars. So I'm just waiting for the extra green arrow. So this is, I would say, enough for this size of the car. This car isn't like super fast like a Tesla, but when you punch it, but it is fast enough, I would say. And I would think this car, considering the range and the size of the battery, is very good for daily commute inside the city, and for excuse me, you know, short trips for the weekend, even for the long journey. We just have to make more stops to charge. But you know, definitely if you have range 300 kilometers, if you drive according to the speed limit or a little bit slower, it should be nice. Let's punch it here. So easily speeds up to the speed limit. If we put it to sport, there is a little button here, so you can feel this car is flying. But instant torque, it's very nice gradual acceleration. It is not a, like, if I would compare it to Tesla car, it just punches you in the seat, and then in like it's Tesla chill mode, it's very gradual. This is also very gradual. Now I tested the Volkswagen ID.3, it was a little bit, how should I put it, it was very responsive in a term that I would get a little bit nauseous. This car isn't, or maybe I just developed a feeling for the accelerator pedal in electric cars, so that's it. So this car is tall, since it's an SUV. It's not a really tall SUV, but it's still tall in compared to regular hatchbacks or similar. So if the road is really bad, the car is going to tilt a bit, but otherwise it's very stable on the road. The back end doesn't really stick out. This is a front wheel drive, so have that in mind. Most electric cars these days are rear wheel drive or all wheel drive. Steering is very nice and light, comfortable. If you put it to sport, again, it is, sorry, I put it to eco. Eco is, it says here, it affects thermal conditioning, so I think it reduces the air condition or heating, but the car feels very slow, let's put it like that. Sport steering wheel gives you a little bit more feedback. Also, what is cool, you can pull the automatic lever, and it gives you a brake. So over here you can see B, so it gives you into brake mode. So if I hold the accelerated paddle, the car drives. If I let it go, the car slows down. If I put it back to normal drive, it acts like a normal car. When you let go, the car coasts, so you have to use the physical brake. So if you want to use only one pedal to drive for the most part, you can put it into B, and then the car slows down. You accelerate when you want to, and then when you're anticipating you want to slow down, you just let go of the accelerator pedal. So you really don't need to use brakes, so that's good. Also saves your brakes, and also recuperates the energy. It brakes with the engine and it recuperates the energy. So let's show you this infotainment. You have here lists for the radio station, and you always have air conditions on the side and sub settings. So this would be the air condition. We can control stuff. We're gonna come to the navigation a little bit later. Car settings, you have here like menus on the bottom, and then it brings you to inside menus. But you can use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, or my Peugeot app that would allow you to, you know, preheat the car or turn air condition in the summer. But I wanted to show you the energy flow. So over here you can see when I'm driving, you're using the battery. You can even see there's like 8 cells. The car is on, like, well, here's a critic. So yeah, before I get to the critic, just you can see when I'm accelerating, car is using, it's blue, using energy from batteries. When I let go, it is using the braking mode, so it goes green. So it's recuperating back the energy into the batteries and recharging them. So one critic is, this is your electricity mode, or like your display where you need to see energy of the car. So let's say now the car is on 50%, I think, but there isn't actual battery percentage nowhere in the menu. Over here we go to the statistics. You can see like the current energy I'm using, or some sort of average, and you can see the green is charging and blue is, I guess, using power I'm using. So it is a little bit confusing. Over here you have a charging option where you can set times for charging, but there is, besides this, nothing else in terms of knowing how much battery level you have on the main screen. Now in the digital cockpit on the left, you can see like a level, like in the classic cars with a fuel level. So it shows you like 0, 1.5, and 1. So currently I can say I have around a little bit more than a 50% of battery with 80 kilometers of range. So I'm not really worried because I've tested this car, so I'm pretty confident that the car has enough range for what I need to do. But I'd like information about the level of percentage of the battery. You have below the speed here the odometer, 410 kilometers, but you don't have a trip meter. You do have it inside the other menus I'm going to show you, but it seems to me like the electric cars are trying to deliberately hide the trip meter and the odometers sometimes, because they are maybe not confident in their range, and the range really varies on your driving style. If you're a more aggressive driver, fast driver, you're gonna use more power and you're gonna have less range. The range also depends on the temperature, outside temperature, and outside climate conditions. So if there's a lot of headwind, you're going to be losing power because range, because you're using more power to maintain your speed. So don't be frightened about this, but I'm sure once you get the car, you're going to get used to it. You're going to figure out in a month how much range you have depending on your driving style. So it's not something that should discourage you. While we're at a traffic red light. Let's show you the navigation. Navigation is cool, especially when you type in a address or something, and you have a day and night mode. It's on automatic. You have 3D, 2D, you can see buildings, stuff like that, very graphical. And you also have charging stations, and when you zoom out and you can see like an entire map or the country, you can actually see like a circle, which is a range you can pass with your current battery. So it's pretty informative. Also, let's talk about a little bit about the front cockpit. Now, I really like it because it's a 3D, especially with the maps, is one of my favorites. It's very nice. It's a unique thing in the car industry at the moment. So applause to the Peugeot engineers. Also, something I wanted to mention with the car, you're tall, you can see the hood, you can see very good the sides mirrors behind you, so the overview around the car, even the blind spot is, if you turn, is very good. And what is also very good is the soundproof in this car, and I haven't heard any rattles, any noises inside the car when you're driving that car would make. So, and up to 100 kilometers per hour, you almost don't hear the engine. You can hear on lower speeds this like buzzing sound and outside the car that warns pedestrians that you're passing by, but besides that there's really not much noise. There's a little bit always on higher speeds tire noise, but once we exceed 100 kilometers per hour there's a lot of tire noise in general, and there is some wind noise from the side mirrors. And as this is a boxy design of an SUV, on top speed like 150 there would be a lot of wind noise as well. Speeding up here, these base LED lights I must say are quite okay, although if the money is an issue I would always go for the upgraded ones. I'm gonna be a little bit quiet so you can hear the noises. Slowing down to 100, I want you to hear the noise. Although the tarmac here is a little bit noisy. Speeding up. A little bit of wind noise. Let's go to 150. More noise. 150 is legal in Croatia. There is a speed tolerance on 130. This is a sport mode. Acceleration. Keeps going and then reaches software limitation. Oh, I wasn't in sport. Back to normal speed. Another cool thing about the cockpit I want to show you is if you press on the right side this like gauges, when you have your profile you can turn off the screen. So look at this. This is pretty neat. So you can focus just on the 3D cockpit. It's very nice. If you want to turn on the screen, you just tap on it and it turns it back on. So there's some other settings, but we're not gonna focus on those right now. Just gonna put it back to navigation. We're gonna head to the road to test the headlights and 0 to 100 test. There's no traffic where it's safe to do that. This is just for the test. I don't drive like that, so have that in mind. If you're new to the channel, if you like this content, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the little bell next to it to get notifications when I upload a new video. And like this video if you like it. It really helps me a lot because it helps the algorithm to recommend videos to other people that might be interested in it. And leave your comments below. What do you think about the car as well? I'd like to hear your opinions. So there is occasional traffic, but I've come to a late hour, so because there's less chance of traffic, of course, I always stop before I check traffic behind me and in front of me to make sure there is no traffic, so it's safe to perform a test. Now you can see the lights now in this pitch black, but there's another area where there's just no street lights. I know there's in front street lights. You can see there's the long beam. You hold it towards yourself, then it keeps on. Hold it towards yourself again to turn it off. No one behind us so far, no one in front of us as well. And we're gonna slow down. I'm gonna press the little button to get into the sport mode. Since this is an electric car, you hold the brake and just punch the accelerator pedal all the way. 8.5 should be the speed. I mean the time, excuse me, 100. And the brakes are very good. They're not too aggressive, but they are on the sweet spot where they're supposed to be. So very good. If you need to emergency brake like really hard, it's no problem. Okay, coming to the area where there's no street lights, I'm gonna come back to a normal mode. Now let's see in pitch black. So we're just gonna stop here, and so this is the GoPro 8 camera. So I'm also going to take out my iPhone camera, which has a better sensor to show you how it looks better in person. So this is the long beam, this is the normal beam. So this is on the iPhone 11 Pro camera. This is a normal beam, long beam. Come a little bit closer. Normal, long beam. I'm gonna snap some photos with the night mode as well, so you can see even better. Another thing that I noticed, when you are braking in the B mode with the engine, there's a con regarding safety. The brake light doesn't turn on like on Teslas, so just notice that, and it's very concerning. I mean, how did Peugeot miss this? Should be turning on, because you are accelerating and you're actually braking, so the car in front of you should see that you are slowing down, not coasting. Besides that, the only thing I wanted to add is when you stop and plug the car for charging, you can see time, you can see percentage of the battery, you can see time left over until fully charged battery, but you can see the amount of power you're getting, but you can't set inside this menu. There is no percentage, and you can't set like if you want to charge only 80% of the battery, because you shouldn't charge always your battery to 100%, at least with this generation of batteries. So that's a con. There's some, from electric point of view, not really logical stuff, and then with this range where you don't have a feeling of how many percentage the battery is, although okay, you can with this what I mentioned, but you know, there are some minor cons that could be fixed. But to sum up the review, I think this is a very comfortable car. It's a first electric car in Peugeot, so smaller battery. Hopefully in the future, when the battery cost changes, lowers in next 2-3 years, or maybe 5, we're gonna have much more affordable electric vehicles. So if you're one of those who like technology and just need a city car, and you're considering electric car, I think this is really not a bad electric car. Yeah, another con, maybe the back seats are kind of short. I am a taller person, but they really are shorter than in most cars, but the seats are comfortable. So in the back there's like in the middle like a hump where there would be usually transmission tunnel. I'm not sure if there's batteries that they squeeze it there, or is it something different, but apparently Peugeot decided to keep that. Overall, I think this is a pretty nice electric car. I think it has a decent power consumption. When you drive easily, you can see much less power consumption, and you can hear now, driving so slow, this is a car noise. You can see now how much power consumption I'm using, if you want to see that. So it's very silent. Now Croatia decided to put more restrictions due to the pandemic, so that's why the lights are almost off. They were on yesterday. So let me see, I'm just gonna park here where there's some light, and so you can see the car a little bit better in the garage. It's also going to be day and night point of view where I'm not talking, so you can see the car in the garage when the lights were on. Overall, I don't think this is a bad car. It has a pretty nice entry price if you get government fundings, which most European countries does have. You can lower this car price to much more affordable, something similar like the petrol or diesel variant. So I think you should consider this car if you're looking for a electric small SUV. If you want to turn off the car, you have this start stop, and you have to hold it for a second. You can't just press it. I'm not sure really why French decided to put this logic, and you can hear the sound. It does it every time it shuts off. I'm not sure if it's the AC or something. And thing that I've just noticed, or forgot almost, is you have electronic parking brake, but I wish this car had auto hold. When you stop, you don't have auto hold, unfortunately. And that's pretty much it. So, and the last thing that also doesn't make sense in an electric car is the start stop button. Like in Tesla, even the Volkswagen ID, you just hop in the car, you press the brake, you put it into drive, you can drive. You stop, you put it to park, you just exit the car, and the car locks itself like this one. But you don't have to use this button. The Volkswagen ID even has it. You don't have to use it. Tesla doesn't have it at all. So electric cars are mostly like smartphones. So I think Peugeot could fix that with its software updates. In general, I don't think the car is bad. It's actually pretty good in my opinion, and very, very comfortable ride. Again, when you leave from the car, it locks itself. I'm just gonna turn the lights on. You can see it again in the garage. It looks very, very nice. So it's a pretty cool design car, I would say. I like this Alliance style and this lights. Pretty cool. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Stay safe on the road, at home as well, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.